So I sat down and I kept thinking about the things that I believed God placed in my heart to do. And it's almost like most of the things that I had thought of from the past years, it was moved to later. Oh, I'll do this later. Oh, I'll postpone this and all of that. And I sat there wondering why many dreams die because people keep postponing them. Maybe that's what fear looks like. More often than we realize. Fear for the perfect timing, what people would say, perfect camera, perfect finances. I'm not enough. You feel like you're not good enough to put you out there. Fear is actually very clever. It doesn't have to tell you to give up. It just whispers, not yet, and you just keep postponing. And somehow years pass and you haven't done anything yet. I think one of the biggest lies fear tells us is that if we wait long enough, we'll eventually feel completely ready. But that has never really happened, has it? Think about the biggest decisions you've made in life. Were they completely fearless? Or did you move forward while your hands were trembling and shaking? Courage and confidence, they are not the same thing. Confidence is your ability to say, I know that I can do this. But courage is when you say, I don't know how this will go, but I'm willing to take the next steps anyway. What's the worst that can happen? Fear has cost people more than opportunities. It has cost them much more than they can imagine. Conversations we should have had, businesses that should have been started, prayers we should have prayed, apologies you should have given, boundaries you should have set, the life you were supposed to live. And it's not because you didn't have the ability, but because fear convinced you they needed certainty first. I don't think fear's greatest victory is making us fail. I believe it's in making us live smaller than we were created to live. And the sad part is, it usually sounds very responsible. Think about it a little longer. What if people laugh? What if my camera is not good enough? What if it doesn't work? It just goes on and on. They feel wise to think that way. Until you realize you've been having the same conversation with yourself for 3 years. Let me tell you something that changed my perception of fear. One day I realized I wasn't actually protecting myself. I was protecting myself from growth, from being bigger. Because every new season asks something uncomfortable from us. To trust, to take the risk, to begin even before we are ready. And none of those things feels safe. There's a moment in the Bible where Peter steps out of the boat. You know that part, right? Where he had to walk on water. People usually focus on the fact that he looked at the wind and began to sink. But I've wondered about the disciples. They never sank because they never stepped out. Only Peter did. Sometimes we're so afraid of failing publicly that we quietly settle for never trying. At least Peter has a story. At least he knows what it felt like to walk towards Jesus. Failure wasn't the end of his story, but fear could have been. God is asking you not to let fear become your leader. Fear is a terrible guide. It will always choose familiar over faithful. Always. Comfortable options over calling. And safety over growth. Like, if fear had its way, you'd spend your whole life preparing for a life you never actually will live. Ask yourself one honest question. What has fear been asking me to postpone? That application, the phone call, the business, the forgiveness, the first video. Don't ignore it. Because sometimes the life you've been praying for is waiting on the other side of one uncomfortable decision. I want you to remember this. Fear has a voice, but it doesn't deserve the final word. So take the next step. You'll only be grateful. This is Confidence Unlocked. Until next time.